up a bit earlier today, up with the birds, as you can hear in the background. I feel like I have a lot to say, and I could also say nothing. These last few days since I began this practice set that intention of exploring what it means to let go in every moment have been some of the most beautiful days of my life. Nothing exceptional has taken place on an external level. And yet internally I feel like I've been tasting a level of freedom that I've never experienced before. It's the freedom that comes with being fully in the present moment. Not holding on to some idea of what might happen next. It's hard to describe in words this experience because it's so subtle and yet so profound. I feel like I'm just so alive, and I'm just fully here, not thinking about all the stuff that I usually think about, not getting lost in my head and all the stories that I tell myself about what's going on. I'm just experiencing it as it's happening. And when I do catch myself going into a story that's preventing me from fully living in that moment, I'm noticing it and I'm letting it go. Yesterday, for example, I finished recording the video, and afterwards I thought to myself about the example I'd given of having a sore throat and, talking about that on the video, and I was like thinking, oh, people are gonna think I'm so pathetic, that having a sore throat is the only thing I could think of that I would let go of in that day. People are gonna judge me and think I'm so, what a cushy life I must lead if that's the biggest of my problems. Of course it's not the biggest of my problems, but then is anything? Anyway, I noticed myself going into this kind of almost panic state of like fear of being judged, and that's a real trigger for me, like what other people think of me. And I consciously made the decision to just release that and just release the worry about what I'd put out. And at the same time, one of the things Michael Singer talks about is practicing letting go on the small things, because there are so many small things that bother us day to day, like I ripped my jeans, I burnt the rice, these little things that kind of bring a reaction in us. And I don't know about you, but I know that I can get bothered by those things, and then they hang around, the reaction to it hangs around. And I don't need that to be the case. I can just not worry. And I guess there are many people who don't, get flustered over small things. But if you are like me and, I don't know, your mind gets kind of fixed about things, or kind of holds on to unnecessary things, then you'll understand what I mean when I talk about practicing letting those things go. And then when the bigger events happen in life, your marriage ending, or someone close to you passing away, or something big, then that practice of letting go is already there. And I'm also well aware that I'm in a good flow right now. I'm a cyclical being. My menstrual cycle awareness practice has shown me that very clearly, that I'm not the same. I don't have the same thoughts and feelings and energy and mood each day. It shifts and changes as I go through my menstrual cycle. And right now I'm in the middle of my cycle, around the time of ovulation, which means I'm much more bright and breezy and taking life easy, and things are generally just more fun at this stage of the cycle. So entering into this letting go practice now has felt somewhat effortless. I may feel and look and talk about this process very differently in 1 or 2 weeks' time, when I'm going into the descent part of the cycle of going inward. And just my perceptions change around that time, and I may show up differently. And part of this process, and part of what I've been learning, particularly in the last year of my life, has been about allowing myself to show up differently in any moment and on any day. I'll stop there for now.